So go ahead and take a deep breath in and let out the sound ah. Ah. And just behind that ah, there is the language of God. The language of God is presence in the silence. So we just take a moment to know that the very highest God and the innermost God is one God. As high as I can reach to the glory of God and as deep as I can move into my heart to the glory of God. God is there. We have come to understand that God is all in all, in and as and through and beyond all creation, and the source of all creation. And as we relax and let go, we discover the natural breath. We're not really doing anything to breathe. It's happening to us. We are being breathed. That which is infinite God, that which is infinite good, is beating the heart within you. It is the life force in you, around you, through you. It's everything you see, everything you know, everything you experience. It's all God. And we've already been reminded, infinite peace, infinite compassion, infinite joy, infinite beauty, infinite wisdom. All of it dwells within me. For all of it dwells in God, and God is everywhere present. By coming into this sanctuary, I let go all separation, all prejudices, all fears, all doubts, for all there is God, and everywhere I look, I see the face of God. The Christ, the Atman, the Buddha, the High Self, belonging to each and to all and everyone, the glory of God. The great metaphysician Ernest Holmes said that you will find God in your conscious mind. So while everybody is the light of God, the love of God, the beauty of God, not everybody knows it. And so we see fear and doubt and separation. But today, in this moment now, we just remember God. We touch the very beingness of God in ourselves and in each other. We open our eyes to let God guide, guard, protect, direct, and unfold and reveal to us, to each one of us, the glory of the I am, that I am. And so we know today, a new understanding, a new point of view, a new thought is entering my consciousness, opening my mind and heart, and causing me to shine even brighter in the name and nature of God, in the name of the nature of the One, of the Christ, the Atman, the Buddha, of the I am that I am. And for this good and this revelation happening in us and to us and through us, and to those whom we touch in this day, for this we are filled with praise and thanksgiving. There's nothing else for us to do. Simply to let go. To allow the Word to become form, to become experience, to become the manifestation of God itself. And so in this praise and thanksgiving, relaxed and letting go, we let it be, as together we declare, and so It is. Yay.
Our thoughts are praying, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are praying. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, band. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, all of the veterans. Is all of the veterans in this hall in any way? Would you all please stand so we can honor you today? Thank you for your sacred service. Thank you for the gifts that you have shared with your nation and all of us. We are grateful. Well, over the years, nobody introduced me today, so if you don't know who I am, go look it up on the internet, okay? I actually have a body of work that's been done in the world, and the fun thing is I've been a minister now for 29 years. It's a little bit hot, the sound. We need to go down a little bit. It's echoing a little in the hall. I've been a minister for 29 years and just stepped out of the pulpit 2 years ago. And a lot of times they call that retirement, and as you all know from the good Dr. Sue Rubin, we call it refirement, right? And there is something within me that is not done, that I stepped forward, I said yes to the divine, not right away, it took a while. You know how the universe guides us and we get the 2x4s by our heads a few times? One of the chapters in my book, It's So Easy When You Know How, is graduating from the 2x4 school. I don't want to do it that way anymore. We say we can learn two ways, either by inspiration or desperation, right? Unfortunately, most of us wait until desperation strikes, and then we say, I think maybe I should look at spiritual things a little bit, yes? But that's really what I want to talk to you about, and I love our announcement person who said my talk was about the perineum. You're going to have to go to the dictionary and look that up. That's a body part. It is not about the perineum at all. And I would describe to you the perineum, but it's a little too graphic in Sunday sentence. The actual title is The Wealth of the Spiritual Paradigm. Paradigm. Well, paradigm is an interesting word, and so a lot of people don't really know that word. So I thought I'd help you understand paradigm. So I did this very clever thing here. I brought a pair of penny loafers here. These are penny loafers, but I put dimes in them. So that's a paradigm. And if I stand in those shoes, there you go, now you're waking up, good morning. And if I stand in those shoes, I'd be standing in a whole new paradigm, wouldn't I? And you'll notice that I also have a lot of soul if I do that. Da-da-bump. I'll be playing the 8 o'clock show tonight. Now the next time you hear the word paradigm, try to get that out of your head, right? So actually a paradigm, if I'm from Hollywood, I spent a lot of years in Hollywood, and paradigm, the best way to describe paradigm would be something we call in Hollywood a POV, which is a point of view, sort of where the camera sees things, how you see things. So a paradigm most accurately described would be the way that you see the world. Well, this came up for me in an interesting discussion because my wife, we've been together 38 years, married 36 years, and we have 6 grandchildren, two big adult kids, and everybody still loves everybody. So it's really a very cool thing. It's very, very wonderful to see the wealth of spiritual love and what it really is and how it works. So my wife decided she needed to work on her consciousness. She wanted to become a little more in tune. She felt like she wasn't. So she signed up with a group. and the group started to talk about paradigms. And she asked me after the phone call that she got off, she said, well, what's a paradigm? Do you know what a paradigm is? I said, yes, I definitely know what a paradigm is. I said, it's the point of view that the way you see the world. She says, well, no, that's not what they're using. I said, I don't know what they're using, but I tell you that's what a paradigm is. So it turned out that this particular group was using the paradigm to describe how some people's lives is coming from a paradigm of limitation, a paradigm of disease, a paradigm of I'm a klutz, a paradigm of things don't go my way. You understand? So they were using the term paradigm to describe a negative or not successful paradigm. You see the difference? A paradigm doesn't have a color. You give it a color. So I tried another way. I said, let me explain it to you this way, my love. I said, you know me for a long time, and you know that the way that I look at everything is through a spiritual paradigm. That I understand that we as human beings are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are not human beings who are one day going to become spiritual. As we have often said in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it says, we came from the light, we put on a coat of skins, and we shall return to the light. Yes? So I look at everything from the point of view as how is this going to fit in my immortal soul, in my eternal soul? How are things going to fit? Does this thing that is in my experience, does it match the way eternity must be? And one of the great thinkers in New Thought from 100 years ago, about 100 years ago or so, described the idea that in order to be a spiritual being, you have to understand that the nature of spirituality is eternal. So how do you know it's eternal? If it lasts forever, it's eternal. So you can say, well, how is Harry Morgan Moses? Well, he's got a body. He came from the light. He's going to leave the body. So this isn't the eternal aspect of the I am that I am. The eternal aspect of the I am that I am is this spiritual being that lives and expresses through this body. Yes? Everybody touch yourself, say, I am. I am an immortal spiritual being. Superior to my mind, to my body, and to my experience. I am an immortal spiritual being. Now, when we just everything we just said there is true. However, I am an immortal spiritual being is the reality of it. And how do I know that I am that? Because I came from the light. I'm going to return to the light. Anybody who has children or grandchildren knows they weren't here before they were born. They came from somewhere. And you have two children. I have two 3-year-old grandchildren. They're very different people. They're 3 weeks apart. They're very different people. They have different souls, right? Otherwise, they're born at the same time. You'd think they come out the same. No, they don't come out the same. Each one is already an individualized expression of this eternal reality, right? Well, so if you live from a spiritual paradigm, you're asking yourself, where is this immortal thing? And that's how I describe God. If it goes on forever, it's God. So we say, for example, how does you hear God is love? Yes? Doesn't love go on forever? Love may change forms, but the kind of love that Shakespeare wrote about in Romeo and Juliet, it still happens today, does it not? Isn't love, the awakening of love, the falling in love, the experience of the love, moving into various forms of love, high love and different kinds of love, isn't love always present? Isn't beauty always present? Doesn't harmony have to be the nature of the universe? Troward, Judge Thomas Troward, this is the 100 years ago, says harmony is heaven's first law. Harmony is heaven's first law. How could harmony be heaven's first law? Because if the universe had anything in it that was disharmonious, something could rise up in the universe and destroy it. Do you see that? And eternity is not destroyable. It always exists, right? So harmony must be the fundamental nature of the universe. So why then do we divide up the pie and think that my good is different than your good, and your good is different than mine, and your culture is different than mine, and my culture is better than yours. That is all, everybody made that up. None of that is true, because harmony is the fundamental reality, which means your uniqueness is essential to the nature of the universe. Oh, I'll show you something interesting. This is a minister looking at a watch. Do you know what it means when a minister looks at a watch? Not very much. Because I'm going to show you, oh, thank you, my man, you already got up there. I'm going to show you the teaching symbol, and I'm going to talk to you about two very simple things. Probably things you've been singing, probably words and lyrics you've heard many times, but I want us to get back, so I'm going to go a long way, quickly as I can. I won't keep you here that long, it's Memorial Day weekend, right? So we're going to go a long way to get us back to something really simple. And you know, what really changes your life, you know, we call our teaching a new thought teaching, right? Well, new thought means we translated the Judeo-Christian heritage into a universal truth. We said, no, it's not, doesn't belong to the Jews, it doesn't belong to the Christians, it doesn't belong to the Buddhists. It belongs to all people, and it all depends on how you organize it in your mind, yes? And the way you understand it becomes the way you can use it in your life. Ernest Holmes said, there's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. You can use it. Whoa, and I mean, really, you can use it. And you can create good upon good, and there's no limit to that good. Everybody say, good and more good is mine. There's no limit to the good that is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good. Is that a true statement? Okay. You have to be the one who sees this good, right? Everywhere I go, I see this good. It flows through me. It crowds itself against me. Now, if too much good is coming to you, what do you have to do? You have to make more room for good, yes? I just got a new car, right? And this car is the nicest car I've ever had. But I think, oh my God, what if I crash this nice car? No, that's my limited thinking. Don't you think you deserve to have a nice car, Dr. Moses? Don't you think you've put your good into the universe to allow it to circulate back through you, to multiply itself as good? So I have to surround that car in light, just like I surrounded my 20-year-old Mercedes in light. I surround it in light, right? I know white light covers and surrounds me, and nothing but good can come to me. Everybody say that, white light. Covers and surrounds me. And nothing but good can come to me. But you see, all of that is because you're using your conscious mind to remember that you're a spiritual being, to remember that you are eternal, to line yourself up with the nature of harmony, which of itself is eternal. Whoa, that means I'm going to become more healthy, more wealthy, more alive, more awake, more aware, more in tune, more vibrant, more loving, more giving, more generous. There's no limit to the good so long as I decide, is it good? And Ernest says, well, how do you determine that? Well, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Is it good for me? Is it good for you? Is it good for everyone who's affected by it? Well, then it's good. Well, then how many parking places can you have? You can have as many as you want because it's good for you. It's good for everybody. So as people say, I go at Christmas time. I go shopping right in the malls. They say, oh, you're not going to the mall at Christmas? I say, yeah, I am. I say, where are you going to park? I say, by the front door where I usually park. Why? Because God always sends me by the front door. I'm grateful. But you see, that's my use of the law. There's no limit to the good, yes? Okay, so here's the deal. Let's go through this quick. There's a circle, yes? I got some of my students are here from over the years. Never saw me do a class without drawing a circle, yeah? There's always a circle. Okay, here's the circle. That means, the circle means there's one thing, right? There's only one thing. Everything is inside the circle. If you see something outside the circle, make the circle bigger. No such thing as something outside the circle. Do you follow? Okay, now the circle has three parts. What's the next slide? Whoop, there you go. You see this top section, the middle section, and the bottom section. You see that? Now, the way the Bible, the New Testament put that, they said there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Well, okay, that's kind of interesting. What's the Holy Ghost? That means we don't know how it works, but it's holy. Okay, well, we would put the Holy Ghost right in the middle. So go ahead and put the next slide up. Boom. We would put the Holy Ghost right in the middle. That's called the infinite mind of God, right? Oh, well, how does God manifest parking places? How does God manifest new good? How does God give you a new thought that can change your experience? The answer is in your mind. But you have to become conscious of your mind, yeah? Let's go to the next slide up. Look right under mind is soul. Oh, everybody touch yourself, say, I am. Did anybody have an objection to that? Did anybody touch themselves, say, I am, and something said, no, I'm not? No. You said, I am, yeah? Well, the I am that is God is the center of the universe. And God put you right in the center of the universe. God said, to Moses, not this Moses, but a different one. God said, I am that I am. I am that. By what authority, the ancient Moses said, by what authority should I go free the slaves and bring out the Jews and find a promised land? But how am I supposed to do that? He says, tell them, I am the one that sent you, and I am that I am. Oh. And you all just said, I am, and nobody objected to it. Well, guess what? You are that I am. You are that I am. What's the next slide? Oh, see, the soul then decides to move into body. Because the only things you can really know are those things you have experienced, yes? So I see there's some children in the world, but it's okay. These words are okay. It's like medical words. We already had one in the field already, right? The I am that I am is in the very center of the universe. And I, in order to experience something, must experience before me to know it. For example, if you had never seen a sunset, if you had been inside a cave your whole life and people told you stories of sunsets, of the colors of the sunsets, of the colors of the water and the sky and the movement of the winds and the clouds and all the things that happen in a sunset, and you had never seen a sunset, you would be awed by the very first sunset you saw, wouldn't you? Because it's the experience of a sunset is why you know what a sunset is. Do you follow? Now, until you have that experience, you can read about it, you can talk about it, you can learn about it, but you don't really know what it is because you haven't experienced it. So that's why the soul has a body. The soul says, I want to know, I want to be conscious of what I am because God made me in its image, and that's too big for me to grasp at one time. Isn't it? I've been praying every day, I swear to God, I swear to God, I swear to God. I've been praying every day for more than 40 years. And I don't get it. I just know that there is something wonderful in asking God, in asking and seeking and knocking. You ever heard that one? And when I ask about something and then move in the direction and try to learn about it and knock on the door if I don't understand it, then that knocking on the door allows me to expand, does it not? Right? And that's what being a spiritual being is all about. It isn't like, oh, hey, I love that people say, I go to the science of mindset, I go to a religious science center, and I used to go there, but I got it. You got it? Really? Wow. So in my center for years, we did a song, and this is where we're going to go. We did a song called Use Me. And the song goes, use me, oh God, I stand for you. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must be. Right? Oh, that song is a prayer. And somebody asked, and they said, are we ever going to do a different song? Well, we did a lot of different songs, but how come we keep doing that song? And I said, why? Did you get it? Did you get it? I mean, God has used you. You got it. You're done? Do you follow? Use me. If I woke up today, use me is a good prayer, isn't it? I woke up today, so I'm alive in God, and I'm always going to be alive in God, so it's a pretty good thing for me to turn to that which is the life force within me and say, use me, yes? Oh, but that's living from a spiritual paradigm. That's living like, Oh, I'm in a bad mood today, and I've noticed things are not going my way. And I notice that the more angry I get, the more upset I get, the more fearful I get, the worse it gets. Oh, good. Now you're beginning to see something, right? But it's the self, the high self, that one in the middle, that's trying to inform you, drawing from infinite mind. So let's go another slide. Do we see the triangles in there? See that one aspect of the soul is reaching up to God, right? The other aspect of the soul is communicating. The soul has two functions. One is to reach to God. The other is to direct the senses. The soul has two functions. One is to reach to God, and the other is to direct the senses. So when I say I'm guided, guarded, protected, and directed, I know God is touching my soul so that my soul can lead me into the paths of awakening, into the paths of a deeper connection to life, into the path of belonging in the one, as the one, with the one, for the one. The song says that I'm only here for God. How about this other song? I release. There it is. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I let the Spirit run my life. And what's the next thing? And my heart is open wide because I'm only here for God. But that's not a song lyric. That's a prayer. That's a statement of truth. I'm only here for God. And I don't know. So I'm born in the image and likeness of God. I am the Holy One. I am the Christ. I am the Atman. I am the Buddha. But I may not be aware of it yet. I may not have awakened to the glory of that. I might just be, reading, writing, and arithmetic and doing dishes, and that's it. No connection. Just reading, writing, arithmetic, and death and taxes. That's it. Do you see how flat that is? It's like a flat earth. There's nothing there. There's nothing to awaken us. There's nothing to open us. So how, if I am the glory of God, if I am the Christ incarnate, and Jesus said, these things and more shall ye do, isn't that what he said? Now, he walked on the water. He called the deaf to hear, the lame to walk, the blind to see, finally raised the dead, raised himself, and then he says, don't worry, these things and more. This is nothing compared to the glory of what you can learn about yourself. Well, who's going to show you? I mean, Dr. Moira, my goodness, my Irish sister, right? Now, what she is a guide. She's a lighthouse, showing you this is where the light is, but only so that you can light the light within you. So that you can see. Don't you see that there's this light within you? But this light within you needs to be lit by you, which has to come from your prayer. Do you follow? Your prayer has to be, show me all that I must do. And here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Yes? And that's the key, to begin to allow that self of yourself. Here's how it goes. If I'm the glory of God, which I think is a fantastic, that's a mind-boggling concept. And then wait, but you're the glory of God, and you're the glory of God, and you're the glory of God, and you're the glory of God. And each one of us here is the glory of God. Now that's a really mind-blowing concept. Well, how are we going to reveal this glory of God? I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. But I do know that the one that I am, which is all things that I belong to, that I'm immersed in, that I'm surrounded by, I know that it knows. So my prayer has to be, guide, guard, direct, and protect me, and lead me into the paths that reveal the glory of the I am that I am. Guide, guard, direct, and protect me. Let me get rid of my fears. No more struggle. No more strife. With my faith, I see the light. And what's required? And my heart is open wide. Because I'm only here for God. Living from a spiritual paradigm is I'm asking the God that I am, the only one that knows what the glory of the Christ, the Atman, the Buddha, the only child of God, the only one who knows what that is that within me that is that I am. So I must ask, seek, and knock upon that. Not just manifest parking places. And I'm really good at manifesting parking places. But but look at people say, well, is it the most important thing your family? You know what my wife and I do for kicks is we love it when the kids say, well, can we come over? Or will you come over? It's the glory of love of our family is the most beautiful thing in my world. But say, well, isn't that the most important thing in my world? I said, no. No, it's very important because it's a manifestation of the love of God, but it is God that has to be the most important thing because all of this comes from God. Yes? The beautiful family, the beautiful healthy babies, everything, they come from God, and I don't know how to do it, but God does. Oh. So I have to learn to live from a spiritual paradigm, to ask and to seek and to knock about, can you reveal to me the glory of who I really am? And as I release those things that no longer serve, my fear, my doubts, my struggles, my disease, my prejudices, I release them, I allow them to go, because as I'm revealing this holy Christ, this holy Atman, this holy Buddha of myself, it's in everyone. It's everywhere. And the only difference is they don't know it. So, well then maybe I could teach, maybe I could talk, maybe I could drive down to Redondo and share with a few friends. Maybe there's some way I can serve this awakening world, because what's the one thing you want to do when you see a fantastic sunset? Think of it. Now, get yourself looking at a beautiful, fantastic sunset. What's the first thing you want to do? The first thing you want to do when you see a sunset is share it with somebody, isn't it? Oh, what do you look at a sunset, what's the first thing you say? Oh my God, look at how beautiful that is. And you're sharing that to the people all around you that they too can see it, yes? That's the nature of God, is that we want to share it. The nature of God. So we have come, you and me, we have come because we walked into this sanctuary. We have come to help the world wake up, to help the world see the beauty of God, to feel the beauty of God, to watch God heal and uplift and restore and revitalize everything that is our lives. And then we say, why? Oh, just so I could have a nice Rolex and a Mercedes. That's why. If you have a nice Rolex and a Mercedes and no God, you're impoverished. You're completely impoverished. Oh my God, you're missing the glory of life. Oh, so the key is that one, the part of my soul that's able to commune with God. You know, it's like they say, what's the worst thing about being an atheist? There's no one to talk to when you're having good sex. That's a joke, but it's on the square, yes? It's completely on the square. Right? What good does it do to see a beautiful sunset if you can't share it with your beloveds? The beloved that is God, that you notice it, my God, look how gorgeous, my God, and then to share it with my wife, my family, my kids, my friends, oh my God. Do you follow? The glory of God is in your relationship with God. The law of God is the facts. Whatever you tell it to do, the law does. And that's why it says, my thoughts are prayers, right? So watch what you're saying, watch what you're thinking. What's the difference? You think like there's a committee up there dividing thoughts from prayers? Was that just a thought or was that a prayer? Was that a thought? Do you follow? So we begin to make a new choice. My wife says, what's the paradigm? I said, well, it's kind of like this. You know me. I live my life from a spiritual paradigm. And everything that happens in my life as value is in that paradigm. And everything that comes from it comes from that paradigm. Oh, this is a spiritual universe. You're a spiritual being. You came here to experience more and more good. No limit to that good. and to make room in your heart and in your relationship with the Spirit itself to build more and more love, more and more light, and more connection. We are all lights unto the world, but we are not the source of the power. We're the instruments of the power. We are all lights unto the world, and we're the instruments of its power. So use me, O God. I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me, in me, as me, through me, all that I must do. And I release, and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. I am free in the Spirit because I'm only here for God. 29 years of talking. At the end of every talk, I say these things. I invite you to think on these things. And together, let us explore the possibilities. Namaste.